Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Emmett or Esper. Today we are talking about, drum roll please, Ibitsu Part 2, heavily requested by my audience. I'm so sorry for leaving you guys on a cliffhanger here. I think for future reviews, I'm going to read the entirety of the manga. If you don't want it spoiled, you can just click away. I feel like that makes the most sense. Today, the focus should be much better. I've got the aperture increased. I also have it tracking in my eye. We're going to do a little test. Look at right here. And now I'm all the way over here. Anyway, the camera should stay in focus. So yeah, now we're going to be talking about Ibitsu Part 2 by Haruto Ryo. This is a crazy manga. Now, if you haven't seen Part 1 of Ibitsu, please go check out the video right here or over here, or I don't really know, maybe I'll link it in the comments. Ibitsu Part 2, a little bit of recap about Ibitsu. Our main character, Kazuki, saw a Lolita girl in a pile of trash and answered her question. He shouldn't have done that. And ever since then, he has been harassed by this lady in a Lolita costume, and it has been slowly getting worse and worse over time until we are at the point now where the Lolita girl is inside his apartment and his actual little sister is about to go inside. So if you like this type of thing for longer form content, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment on things you think I could do better or change. I'm always open to suggestions, so please, it means a lot. Thank you. And without further ado, let's get into it. So Hikari, Kazuki's sister, is about to enter into the apartment, and as she comes inside, the first thing that she sees is the Lolita girl holding a knife, standing there menacingly. So my favorite part about this is as soon as she comes inside the apartment and sees the Lolita, her first reaction is simply, this is the type of girl my brother's into? Like, oh my god, come on, get out of there. What are you doing? I like to call this horror character syndrome. Horror character syndrome means that you are a character in a horror movie or manga or novel, and you are always making the worst decisions that you can, given the circumstance that many other people would just choose to do something different. I.e., if I'm in a horror movie and I'm recording myself and then a demon appears behind me, if I'm just like, let me go check out the demon, I'm in a horror movie. But if I'm like, let me go this way out my window, or I don't know, do anything else. So chapter 2, it's our first interaction between Hikari and the Lolita. In their initial interaction, Hikari is being rather polite. She's a young girl. She's just trying to make conversation with this Lolita girl and really understand what's going on. The Lolita is not saying anything to her. She's not interested in conversation. Actually, the Lolita seems angry. She's angered by her presence. First thing that the Lolita says to Hikari is, let's sit down and eat, right? So the Lolita has been cooking, and there's a foul stench inside the house. Actually, if you look on the stove, there's a big pot full of black, disgusting goo. What is in this? I don't think anybody should eat that. I wouldn't eat it. Well, if I'm really hungry, maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, Hikari, understanding that the situation is probably strange, makes a intelligent, non-horror character decision to text her brother and be like, get here quick, what is going on? And this is great too, because so far we haven't really seen any supernatural type stuff happening. We've just kind of been like, this is just a girl who's a crazy stalker. But as Hikari texts her brother, her phone says the message couldn't be sent. And the Lolita knows that the message couldn't be sent. She looks at her and she's like, better luck next time, good try. It's like your first hint that this is not necessarily just a normal girl. As they're sitting at the table, Hikari notices the Lolita continuing to just kind of get more and more agitated, to the point where, disclaimer, if you are sensitive to violent themes, self-harm, anything that you may see in horror, stop watching the video now. This is a horror manga. Warning, parental advisory, explicit content. I'm going to be talking about some kind of dark things here, so I'm going to kind of dance around things, and you guys can kind of infer what I'm talking about from here. It's going to get dark from here, so buckle your seatbelt. Here we go. Hikari notices the Lolita girl getting more and more agitated until the boiling point where the Lolita begins to take a fork and stab in this motion, and she's not stabbing the table, the Lolita starts stabbing herself in the thigh with a fork multiple times out of frustration because Hikari is claiming that she's Kazuki's real sister. This obviously causes a reaction out of Hikari, and she starts freaking out. The Lolita starts insulting and badgering Hikari. You're garbage, like you shouldn't have been born. You're a filth stain on the earth, on this earth. Like this world would be a better place without you. Not the nicest thing to be saying to your new guest in the apartment. The Lolita then proceeds to get even more frustrated, saying that Hikari is being rude because she hasn't even touched the dish that's on the table. The Lolita grabs her own dish and tries to force feed Hikari, who knocks the dish away. And on the ground, we see an eyeball. Where did this eyeball come from? Let's just say that the landlady's dog has been missing for a while, and now there's an eyeball. I hate the Lolita girl so much more now. So Hikari, rightfully freaked out, totally terrified, in her petrified state, kind of has like an accident, but no worries because the Lolita girl picks up a hot iron and starts walking towards her saying, well, let's clean that up. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, this was the first moment in the book where I started reading and I set the book down for a second thinking, what have I got myself into? And you're along for the journey too. It's me and you learning about this story. Hooray, right? Great. Just before something absolutely atrocious happens, Kazuki busts in the apartment. Hooray, Kazuki! He kicks the Lolita girl out of the way, and he's like, what are you doing in my apartment? It is Kazuki, the Lolita girl, and Hikari in the apartment, panicked. Well, the Lolita girl's not panicked. Hikari, traumatized, is desperately pleading for her brother to help her, only for the Lolita girl to grab her hair and throw her on the ground and start kicking her and talking about how she's filth and like she shouldn't be there. The Lolita girl's talking about how she's a better little sister, and Hikari's just like a stain on the world who doesn't even deserve Oni-chan. Kazuki roundhouse kicks the Lolita girl into a bookshelf. Awesome kick, by the way. And the Lolita girl gets injured. She has like an unhealed wound on her arm that reopens. Gross. Just to further emphasize how crazy this woman is, she says, oh, thank God, like this is like, it's a good thing that's happened that she's been injured, because it's like they're making memories together. This girl is not right in the head. Something's missing from her, right? It's messed up. Kazuki yells, I am not your Oni-chan. And the Lolita loses it. It's almost like her body is rejecting the very idea that Kazuki is anything but her big brother. Suddenly scars and markings appear all over her body. It's like her very being is rejecting this idea and reverting to a state that is like less than human. Ugh. Kazuki and Hikari book it out of there, thank God, and make a really intelligent decision, and they go straight to the police station. And the cops brush it off like it's nothing, you know, they're freaked out, they're like, this girl's crazy, and the cops are essentially just like, look, I hear the story all the time, okay? Your little sister's just jealous of your brother's new boyfriend, and you guys are just trying to get rid of her, and this is like the best way, we see it happen all the time. And they're like, no, please come to the apartment, please, you need to see what's happening. And they get to the apartment, and there's nothing there. It's like nothing ever happened. It's like they're being gaslit, and the cop is just like, dude, you're wasting my time. And he gets out of there. It's then when Kazuki realizes, like, the cops are not going to be any help. They kind of have to figure out the situation on their own. Well, they make the right call, and they decide to stay at their parents' house for the time being, you know, for their own safety. And here we get into horror main character syndrome. So their parents get a call from the school saying Hikari needs to come in for a basketball tournament because she's like one of the presidents of the club. And they're like, oh, well, she's not feeling very well. And they're like, well, she has to come. Today's the only day where she can come in. So reluctantly, Hikari decides to go to the school and, you know, for this basketball meeting for playoffs or a championship or something along those lines. And the final panel in the scene is the Lolita girl holding a sledgehammer. Sledgehammer Lolita girl. And this was like honestly one of the coolest panels, right? It really changes the tone from this is a creepy stalker girl, okay, maybe she did something kind of screwed up, maybe there's some supernatural stuff. And the next chapter, I think it's like one of my favorite titles for a chapter. It's literally just called Girl with a Hammer. The first panel makes it really clear that the only adult in the school is totally screwed. Then we cut to Akari talking to her friend Yuka, and explaining everything, how her brother has like this creepy stalker, and the friend like recognizes the story, and she's like, oh my god, that sounds exactly like the Lolita demon urban legend. Hooray! Yuka, her friend, explains the legend, and this is really important because it's your first context to, what exactly is happening here. She explains that a Lolita appears asking passerbys a question. If they answer no, and they have a little sister, the demon goes after the little sister and unalives them. If somebody with the sister says no, then the Lolita ends their life immediately. But if they say yes to her question, she takes it as if they're saying, yes, I would like to have a little sister. And she forces herself into that role. And the most screwed up part is that there's no right answer, because everyone who has ever answered the question meets a twisted death in the end. But they just brush it off, right? Like, surely it's just like an urban legend. It doesn't have to do with their situation. It just, it's a bunch of crazy little coincidences. It'll be fine. So Yuka just remarks like, well, you're here, you might as well practice with me. Why don't you go get changed into your gym clothes and we can, shoot some hoops. And Hikari goes and she's like, I might as well, leaving Yuka all alone. But Yuka is not alone for very long, because the Lolita demon shows up to pay a visit and watch her practice. This friend immediately recognizes the Lolita girl as the stalker that Hikari has been talking about, and tells her to back off. But the Lolita has other plans and a sledgehammer. In this chapter, we really see the violence amp up and some of like the gore and stuff. So I'm gonna kind of like dance around things, and you guys can use your big brains to kind of imagine what's going on. Yuka, after insulting the demon, enrages her, and the demon wants to teach her a lesson, and the hammer touches her knees, her hands, and her head. It's highly graphic. Check out the physical media if you want to see the panels for yourself. I'm not going to show them just out of respect for YouTube, but just know the sledgehammer makes contact with the girl, and it's not good for her. Hikari comes back to find her friend sitting there against the wall in the dark, and her head spins around this way and nearly falls off. It's a twisted neck, and it's just like a brutal scene, and I mean, that to me, like, I kind of like horror and gore, right? I was like, yeah! And then I was also thinking, okay, now get out of there, right? So she's all alone now, except no, she's not. The Lolita girl is there to keep her company. How nice of her. And the Lolita girl remarks how she wants to play tag. If you made it this far in the video, I just want to say thank you very much. We're going to continue on, but it really means a lot to me that, you've watched this far, and you're awesome, and I hope you're enjoying it so far. Leave a comment down below if you think I should do anything different, or if you're enjoying the series, and thank you very much. Let's keep going. Hikari doesn't want to play tag. She bolts for the exit, which makes a lot of sense. That's what she should do, and all the doors are tied shut, and they're all locked. And the Lolita demon has followed her, and she's been taunting her every step of the way. Hikari runs and slips on a slick surface and finds the teacher there. And the teacher is practicing his contortionist techniques. No, wait, he's just dead. Hikari, this poor girl, is freaking out, running away, dodging multiple hammer strikes. She runs into a classroom and hides underneath the teacher's podium, like at the front of the room. And the Lolita follows her and searches for her. And it's pretty obvious within the writing that the Lolita, knows where she is, but is just kind of pretending to play like, oh, I don't really know where you are. There's even one manga panel where the Lolita sets down her teddy bear right in front of the teacher's podium, so the teddy bear can see Hikari sitting there underneath the desk. And Hikari is terrified, just waiting, and she hears strange noises inside the classroom. And the Lolita, while all this is going on, is ranting about how Hikari has hurt her, and now she's gonna hurt Hikari. And right at the very end, she takes a scalpel and she stabs the desk right above Hikari's head. And it's a really cool manga panel. Like, you see Hikari just being like, oh my god. And she's freaked out, but she kept quiet. And the Lolita demon walks out of the room and she's safe. As she gets up, she investigates the room and she finds a dummy with scalpels inserted all over the dummy and holes drilled within the head, almost as if the Lolita demon was fantasizing about the way that she wanted to hurt Hikari. And as she steps out of the classroom, the Lolita girl slams her hammer down, injuring Hikari's foot. Now the Lolita girl wants to play a different game. She wants to play hide and seek. A injured and distressed Hikari runs into the bathroom and pulls out her cell phone with her feet on top of the toilet, trying to hide and covering her mouth, and she tries to call her brother, and just in a fit of complete terror, accidentally drops her phone on the ground. And as the phone falls, it lands and illuminates the bottom of the stall, and you see the Lolita demon peeking up at her. It's over. She's found her. The Lolita girl drags Hikari into the darkness as she screams, the phone ringing on the ground, calling her brother with no answer. Cut to Kazuki, who's trying to get a hold of his sister now, who's calling her and not getting a response. And you start to feel a sense of dread as he starts to worry, thinking like maybe something's happened to her. So Kazuki is in his apartment with changed locks now, with his friend, kind of searching online to see if anybody else has run into the same circumstance. And they find the urban legend about the Lolita demon. They find tons of personal accounts and stories of people that have interacted with this person. And in the end of each of these stories, the person who answered the Lolita's question has met a twisted death. None have escaped the horror that is the Lolita demon. Kazuki starts freaking out and starts wondering, if anything's going to happen to his little sister. And suddenly, the apartment falls black. The Lolita girl is right outside the apartment, banging on the door, demanding to be let in. All of the phones in the apartment start ringing. It's clear that something supernatural is happening. The Lolita girl starts breaking down on the other side of the door, crying, asking the world why everyone is so mean to her, and why every time her head goes blank, bad things starts happening. She exclaims that she just wants to be with her Oni-chan, and cries and just exclaims that, why does this keep happening to me over and over again? And she runs away in tears, saying that she doesn't want to be seen like this. In front of the doorway where the Lolita was standing lies a pile of black, foul-smelling goo. Proof that she was really standing there. Kazuki and his friend go back inside and they keep searching online for something, that has to do with this Lolita demon, and they find articles about an old mental hospital that have links to the Lolita demon. And they decide they need to go investigate. So Kazuki, our main character, and his two very unfortunate friends decide to go investigate this abandoned mental hospital. Inside, there's a foul stench in the air, and the walls are covered with scratches and drawings from unhinged, totally deranged past patients. And one of the friends mentions how the hospital shut down a while ago because one of the doctors fell into a psychotic rage and ended up doing bad things to the people there. And great, perfect, this is surely not related to the Lolita girl at all. No way, right? So as they're searching, in one of the rooms they find a body bag that is plump, like it's obvious that something is inside this body bag. And one of the friends, who's a little bit more curious and less cautious, walks up to the bag, and the bag starts to convulse, and it falls on the ground. And slowly, it unzips, and inside we see a face. They freak out, as they should, and bulk out of there exclaiming, "What did we just see?" In a panic, as they're running away, Kazuki and his other friend realize that they left one of their friends behind, and Kazuki says, "We have to go get him," and he runs back, leaving his other friend alone. Only moments later, his other friend is pulled into the darkness. So now, it's Kazuki, all alone, in the mental hospital, with something. In the pitch black halls, he feels a presence watching him. Everywhere he turns, he thinks he sees the Lolita girl. And as he continues to explore the hospital, more and more supernatural things start happening. He sees the Lolita girl on the ceiling. He feels her presence. Her arms stretch out from the cells, begging for her Oni-chan, and he runs and sprints, and he runs inside one of the cells. I think that it's really great that he's in this abandoned mental hospital, and you actually start to question the sanity of the main character, right? It's kind of ironic. So Kazuki, now inside the cell, he's shut it, and things have quieted down a little bit. He's no longer having hallucinations, but he sees the wall is almost entirely black inside the cell, except for a small portion. And as he gets closer, he sees that there's been writing, or carved into the wall is Oni-chan, written over and over and over, overlapping itself so that the entire wall almost looks black. This, of course, startles him. He's pretty freaked out, and he notices a desk with an open drawer. And inside is a journal of one of the doctors that gives details about his interactions with the Lolita demon. In the journal, the doctor writes about how he started to see patients who've been involved with criminal cases. And his first patient is a 11-year-old girl named Romina. She's a sole survivor of a family massacre. Her 15-year-old brother murdered their entire family, his father, his mother, and his grandmother, with a hammer before killing himself in front of her. She witnessed the entire horrific incident. Physical exams of Romina showed signs of abuse, bruises and scars all over her body. This poor girl refused to change out of her Lolita dress, stating, "This is how Oni-chan said little sisters should dress." And it gets kind of sad here. I'm like almost feeling bad for this, for Romina, this Lolita girl. She has trouble eating. She often spills food out of her mouth, and she has a bad habit of eating trash. You know, it screams when people try to stop her, saying girls who act like trash deserve to eat trash. Her brother forced her to eat garbage, and no matter how much she would throw it up, he would continue to force her to eat garbage. And it's clear in this chapter that Romina, this Lolita girl, is a victim. She's a victim of like an abuser. And her recounts of, you know, the murders that happened and what she witnessed and the cruelty that she went through make you think, you know, maybe there's a way to save this poor little Lolita girl. And the doctor thinks the same thing. And he decides to start treating her like his own little sister to, you know, to help her. The next day, the doctor is seen being hugged by another patient who he's done a lot of really good work for, and the Lolita girl sees, and she gets really mad. And the next day, that same patient is seen hanging from a rope inside her cell. It's ruled that it's suicide. Kazuki's concentration breaks as he's reading the journal, as he hears the Lolita girl right outside his cell taunting him. She knows he's in there. She stands right outside of the door, telling him, "You remember your promise, don't you?" And Kazuki ignores this and demands to know where his friends are. And this Lolita girl, you know, giggling and kind of teasing him, is like, "What friends? I don't know who you're talking about." And Kazuki kind of softens, right? He's like, "You're Romina, right?" And he says, "I'm so sorry, you know, that for everything that you've been through is terrible. But, you know, what she wants from him isn't going to change the past." And this enrages the Lolita. "Why would you ask something like that?" she says. "You're trying to push me away. I just want to be with you, and you're betraying me again." And she lunges at him and takes a bite out of his forearm. And during their fight, Kazuki just pleads with her, and he's like, why does he have to suffer? And if she doesn't stop, he's going to turn her over to the police. And in that moment, she jams a syringe into his ankle, ignoring all logic. Her psychotic tendencies starting to bleed through. She states how she's getting confused and how everything's turning white, and mentions how her last Oni-chan had his melon stuck in an oven. When she came to, Kazuki's body starts to go numb, and Romina sits on top of him and wraps her hands around his throat, laughing maniacally, starting to squeeze the life out of him. And Kazuki is about to pass out, and he remembers something in the doctor's journal. And he gasps, you know, his very last thing that he could say. He screams out, he's like, "Don't do this. You can't. After all, you're a good little sister." And she loosens her grip. Confused, she's like, "I'm a good little sister?" Kazuki continues and says, "I know you're doing this for me, and I know people don't understand you, but I know that you're doing your best, and you're the perfect little sister." Kazuki starts to lose consciousness as Romina walks away, happily saying that she's glad that he's her Oni-chan. And Kazuki wakes up. He's at home, and he's safe in his bed. He did it. He figured it out, it's over. But it was no dream. There's bandages wrapped around his neck. And he's bruised and still under the effects of whatever was injected into him. Still wobbly and drugged from the syringe, he stumbles around, looks inside his sister's bedroom, trying to find her, and it's empty. He walks into the living room and sees his father polishing his golf clubs, his mother cooking at the stove, scolding him for having a dirty face. He goes into the bathroom to wash his face and, wipes his face off with a towel, and the effects of the drug start to lessen. And in the reflection, Romina, the Lolita girl, is waiting behind him. It's not over. Brothers and sisters are forever. It will never be over. Kazuki runs to the kitchen, yelling for his mom to call the police, and his mom's lifeless body is hanging over the oven with her face in a boiling pot of stew. He looks over to his father, who's on his knees, impaled with 3 sets of golf clubs. Romina casually explains that she's carried him over here and that these people inside called her his friend. And Kazuki pleads with her. He's like, I made your dream come true, so why? And she says, yes, you've made my dream come true. And now I'm the only one. And that's when Kazuki realizes the dreadful truth of his missing sister. And Romina pulls out a large pair of scissors and says, brothers need to be disciplined, and pulls them to the back of his ankle. Snip, 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 and tells him it's his turn to become the perfect big brother. The doors are padlocked. The windows are boarded shut. Kazuki sits in his bed in front of a blank canvas with a pencil. He draws the Lolita girl in a crazed fashion, in her demonic form with black eyes. And she sees this and says, this is crap, and slaps him. In her eyes, it's him rebelling, and he needs to be punished. She grabs a stapler and pulls on his eyelid. Click. And with every escape attempt, she inflicts more and more pain upon him. Romina's in rage. She's been helping him practice his art, and she feeds him every day. She feeds him trash every day, by the way. She's doing everything for him. Why would he betray her? Outside of the apartment, a lady stands there with a clipboard, hearing the commotion inside. And Kazuki is in bad shape. He is bloodied, bruised. He can only see out of one of his eyes now, and it's not looking good for our main character. Alone in the room, laying there on the ground, he sees an old pair of his pants, and in the back pocket stick out the doctor's journal from before. And he starts to read the rest of the journal that he didn't have a chance to. The next entry, I was wrong. Her wish isn't to be the perfect little sister. Her wish is for us to be perfect siblings. The doctor gets isolated and locked, and just like the main character tries to escape and is punished over and over and over, the doctor ends up taking his own life. These rumors of a doctor who faced a psychotic break, it was him, broken by Romina. Romina, sitting on the ground, stares at a TV showing just static. This girl's crazy. She remarks about what time it is and goes to check on Kazuki. Kazuki, broken, is sitting in the bedroom. Kazuki has drawn this beautiful girl on the canvas that resembles Romina, and she loves this, and he states that he just wants to add a few additional details and shows her the pencil, and the tip's broken, and he says, I just need a sharpener because I want to make this perfect for you. And she happily agrees. He sharpens the pencil to a deadly point. His intention is to fight back. He's going to get out of this situation any way he can. This is the last chapter of Ibitsu. Kazuki waits around the corner for the Lolita girl to step inside his view. And as she does, he plunges the pencil down, knocking her on the ground. And over, He lodges the pencil inside her until it breaks. He's free. He's done it. He's finally gotten out of this just crazy situation. Except the girl on the ground was the girl outside with the clipper in her hand. It's not Romina. Romina notices and exclaims happily that he must have meant to kill her instead. And he is just really a bad older brother. And Kazuki pleads, he's like, listen, Romina, please. And she responds coldly, my name is Hikari. She says that Romina was just one of her previous names. And it hits him. He realizes it was her all along. She had taken the place of all of those little sisters, even the sister of the family that had been murdered supposedly by the brother. She was never a victim of abuse. She was the culprit, a demonic force who has killed countless people. Kazuki looks at her in horror. How many times have you done this? And the Lolita stands there with a chainsaw in her hands. She walks slowly with the teeth spinning around the chainsaw ever so closely. And Kazuki breaks. He's like, I'm sorry. I'll do whatever you want. I'll be good. And she opens up her stuffed animal and entrails fall out. And she says, don't worry. We can be friends. And you'll be with me forever. The Lolita stands above him with the chainsaw in her hand, revving, as Kazuki screams. And that is the end of Ibitsu. This has been a wild ride of a story. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I think Ibitsu is really a great story if you're into horror. I really didn't give like every single little detail. Ibitsu is a crazy story. It's really violent. I implore you, if you really enjoyed this video or, are interested in the story, go buy a physical copy. This story is awesome. If you love horror, definitely check this out. Even after reading this video, if you give it a read, it'll still bring enjoyment to you. I promise there's many things I didn't speak about simply because they are either too violent or I think, it would just extend the length of this video to a point where it'd probably just take a while, right? Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been my part 2 of Ibitsu, and it was really crazy and freaky, and I love you all. I hope you guys have a great day. Leave a comment if you like this video, like, subscribe, do all those things. It really means a lot to me. My name's Emmett. I've been trying to post videos on YouTube every single day. It's my goal to do it for an entire year, and it's up to you guys if you want to be on this journey with me. I'm here till the end. I'm going to be doing this no matter what. Come, rain or shine, but I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are going to have the rest of your day. If you guys see a Lolita girl in a pile of trash and she asks you a question, get out of there. Run away. But maybe she needs help, right? You never know. Maybe she could be your new little sister. That's all, everyone. So thank you so much, and peace out.